Winds up to 71 miles an hour, hundreds of trees down across the inland northwest.
It was a miracle. I mean, inches away from a totally different story.
A close call for one South Hill family after a tree crashed into their bedroom.
In the Comstock neighborhood, the park covered in debris, homes in shambles from fallen trees.
Widespread power outages canceled school and leave thousands of homes still in the dark tonight. Crews say they'll be making repairs through the night.
I woke up in the middle of the night worried about it, and by then it was too late.
Restaurants already struggling with COVID-19 restrictions. Now they're having to deal with the aftermath of today's storm.
And in North Idaho, neighborhoods and city streets are still in the cleanup stages. It's the same story across the region. It will take time to repair all the damage from windstorm 2021.
High winds ripped through the region, uprooting massive trees and smashing homes, including this one in Coeur d'Alene on Government Way.
That damage is widespread. Crews now left dealing with precarious power lines, including this scene out in Spokane Valley, where fire crews had to safely remove this structure that was hanging on the power lines over Sprague Avenue.
Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News at 5. I'm Mark Hanrahan.
It's good to have you here tonight. I'm Whitney Ward. A very close call for one South Hill family. That is where we begin tonight after a tree came within inches of crushing a couple while they were sleeping in their bed.
This story is unbelievable. It could have ended much different had that tree just been a few inches in either direction. KREM 2's Tim Pham live on the South Hill tonight. Tim, break it down for us. What happened?
Yeah, Mark, Whitney, I was the first reporter on scene here this morning, and firefighters told me that a tree in the backyard of this home snapped in half, then the top actually landed inside the master bedroom like a lawn dart. That's what first responders tell me, and that's how they described the image when they walked into that master bedroom. But it's really these photos I want you to check out. They are just incredible. You have to look at them. Chilling photos showing that tree limb piercing through the roof, landing right in the middle of the bed, separating the couple. A woman was trapped, but her husband was able to call for help. First responders had to cut the tree to remove her and then brought her to a hospital. I spoke to one of her sons, and he tells me he thought he lost his mom.
I think we were a little shocked at first. I mean, I think we all thought we might have lost our mom for a second there, you know. So it was a little scary, but I think God was protecting her. And
nothing short of a miracle, that's for sure. Eli thought his mom might lose her arm, but doctors say that the tree actually didn't hit any vital organs. And again, we want to thank this family for sharing their story. It is seriously just a miracle. But again, the mom in good spirits tonight, everyone else okay. And they do have that tree removed off of their roof. But, you know, there is damage to their home. But again, everyone is okay. Live in Spokane, I'm Tim Pham, KREM 2 News.
Just incredible, Tim. Thank you. And so many people across the inland northwest woke up to scenes like this one, trees down in their backyard and the power out inside. In this case, also on the South Hill, this tree managed to wipe out the transformer. And again, thankfully, nobody was hurt.
I want to get to meteorologist Thomas Patrick here in the studio today. Thomas, how strong were the winds today, and is the worst of it behind us now?
Yeah, the worst of it certainly is well behind us. This was pretty much a burst event. First thing in the morning around 5, 6, 7 o'clock a.m. That's when the winds were at their strongest. In fact, I just checked what our outdoor weather center had reported. It was right at 50 miles per hour on the South Hill, 64 miles per hour in the Spokane area, and there's actually another report from Spokane International Airport that was 71 miles per hour. That was the fastest that we saw those winds. But that was first thing this morning. As of right now, the winds have calmed from 30 miles per hour last hour to just 15 miles per hour this hour. And we got a 10 mile per hour report from our studios out back in the South Hill as well. So those winds are calming down very quickly tonight. Might see wind gusts up to 20, 25 miles per hour through 8 o'clock this evening, but they will be much calmer, if not just outright calm, by the time we get to tomorrow morning. A much needed break. Thankfully, this was a very short duration event. In fact, that storm system is over the Dakotas right now. How quickly it went from the Pacific Northwest to their region in the matter of about a half a day. So our attention will be out west to a few chances for some rainfall in the next coming days. But that southwesterly flow actually keeping things quite warm. And that's one of the big differences from the 2015 event. If you remember, it was very cold following that windstorm about 5 years ago and a couple months as well. So a couple key differences between what we experienced from today and that other event from 2015. We'll have some details on that in just a few minutes.
It's just like one blow after another, you know. They're kicking us while we're down, it feels like.
Another blow for businesses, that's for sure. Many local restaurants woke up to see their outdoor seating tents ripped up or completely torn down from those very strong winds. So these restaurants just really can't seem to catch a break.
Yeah, they have been shut down since November, spent thousands of dollars on tents for outdoor seating, and now the windstorm, just another punch to the gut. So this is a look at Brick West Brewing Company. This is in downtown Spokane. The entire tent collapsed with several tables, chairs, and barrels underneath. Some of the tent walls also torn off, poles bent. Crews here earlier today planned on securing the rest of the tent to prevent it from flying away. Meantime, KREM 2's Amanda Rowley also spoke with the business in Liberty Lake today.
Wind gusts remained fairly strong this afternoon in Liberty Lake. Overnight, the storm ripped through the outdoor seating tent at Hey J's Bistro.
We woke up to a bunch of damage, you know, our heaters blown over and bent up and beat up, and their tables and chairs blown everywhere.
Hey J's is a family-owned bistro of 15 years. Chef and owner Patrick Fetcher says they have seen a lot over the years, but nothing like this past year, and now with a windstorm to boot.
It's pretty bad. I don't know. Like, there's part of me that just wants to say, you know, let's just wait till spring, you know, and then start it up again, because it's just been a struggle.
Hey J's put up the tent like many restaurants to provide some dining for customers under the Washington state COVID-19 restrictions. But a week after they set up their tent, one of their heaters was stolen in the middle of the night.
It's just like one blow after another, you know. They're kicking us while we're down, it feels like.
It's horrible it happened to Hey J's across the street. You know, I hope they can get theirs up and running and they continue on, because they're great neighbors and it's great for the Liberty Lake community.
True Legends across the street fared pretty well so far. They cleared away what they could from the tent ahead of time.
Took down the walls and then just a little cleanup, and as soon as the storm's over, we'll be back up and running out on the patio. But we just need this wind to stop blowing.
It's a battle, but we'll get through it. I mean, we'll keep fighting until, you know, we're all the way down.
That was Amanda Rowley reporting. My goodness, you just feel bad for those businesses, right?
Oh, it's awful.
Well, this morning, the 911 system, as you might imagine, in North Idaho was flooded with calls about downed power lines and trees smashed into homes.
So many calls actually were coming in that the Office of Emergency Management had to set up a call-in number just for people to report damage. So we're turning now to Morgan Trow, who is live in North Idaho. And Morgan, what have you seen about the damage over there today?
Mark, Whitney, it's hard to drive down the street without seeing tree damage in the road, on cars, or like you see right here, on houses. Residents in Fernand Lake told me they woke up to tons of trees falling early this morning. But the scariest part was it didn't stop. This tree was uprooted around 10 in the morning. Now, I don't know if you can see this. I'm about 5'4". This root of the tree is so much taller than me, and it really just shows how fast the wind was blowing, that it could blow over this ginormous tree. 50 to 70 mile per hour winds rocked the inland northwest, causing tree damage and power outages all over the region. North Idaho has suffered so much damage that Kootenai County signed a disaster declaration, which allows the county to ask the state for more resources.
It's crazy. I just hope everybody stays inside for the day. The lights started flickering around 6 o'clock this morning, and then around 6:30, complete blackness.
The 50 mile per hour winds woke Mike Faulkner and his family up.
You could just tell the sound of like a tree falling, you know, like we jumped up and I got the kids in the basement, and then we just ran out of the house. I threw all their clothes in a laundry basket and split.
Luckily, his home was not severely damaged, but his neighbor's was. Their tree split the house, but they weren't home. Faulkner's large front yard tree fell, falling into a neighbor's fence, narrowly avoiding the house. He said he's fortunate, but another tree is dangerously close to falling over. They are trying to find another place to sleep tonight, not wanting to risk the tree falling overnight.
I'm just hoping it doesn't fall on our house.
The wind advisory is extended until 7 p.m. in North Idaho. Reporting in Ferdinand Lake, Morgan Trout, KREM 2 News.
Morgan, thank you very much. And the Comstock neighborhood on Spokane's South Hill also was one of the hardest areas hit here in the inland Northwest.
If you are familiar with that park, you know it is home to massive trees spread across its 25 acres. Our Casey Decker joins us live now from Comstock Park with a survey of all that damage there. Casey?
Yeah, guys, take a look behind me here. You can see sort of in the darkness a little bit some of this wreckage still here in this park. You might be able to see a swing set back there. That somehow avoided all the damage despite all these trees that have fallen over, many of them completely uprooted. And now you're taking a look here in the middle of Howard Street. This has been blocked off and blocked roads. Well, those are a scene you'll see throughout the Comstock neighborhood. City cleanup crews are working to clear off some of these roads tonight, sawing up huge trunks and loading them into dump trucks. Of course, there are only so many of these that they can actually get to. Driving around the neighborhood, you'll see plenty of impassable roads. Crews are prioritizing the high traffic streets first. And that's why city leaders are also asking folks to try to avoid driving on the roads tonight. If you can, like with a snowstorm, the fewer cars on the road, the safer things are going to be. Reporting live in Comstock tonight, Casey Decker, KREM 2 News.
All right, Casey, thank you very much. And like the street crews that we saw, power crews certainly going to be working long hours just to get the lights turned back on.
At the peak of the storm, get this, more than 100,000 people were without power in our area. Our Ian Smade joining us now in the newsroom tonight to explain where the outages are tonight and when the utility companies can get to them. Ian?
That's right, Mark. We are still seeing widespread power outages throughout the inland Northwest at this time. But let's start by taking a look at the Kootenai Electric Cooperative outage map right here next to me. If you'll see, it goes all the way down to the Plummer area in central Idaho and goes all the way up to Lake Pend Oreille. If you look at Lake Coeur d'Alene down here, all the areas around the lake still without power at this time. That goes all the way up to Hayden Lake as well. And really the main part between Hayden Lake and Lake Pend Oreille, all of those customers still without power. This time they have a little under 15,000 people total without power. But one thing to note, look right here, Coeur d'Alene and Post Falls, the city area, all of those customers have their power on at this time. So that's good for them. But again, all the way from Plummer, all the way up north to Lake Pend Oreille. Now let's look at the inland power and light outage map. Again, widespread outages going all the way over into Lincoln County, all the way south into Whitman County. But as you can note, the biggest outages are here in Spokane County. Very widespread outages, a few up here in North Idaho, but not many. Right now, they're sitting at a little under 16,000 people without power. But the big one is obviously Avista. They have the widest spread outages at this time. And as we pull up their map, you can see all the way from the Canadian border up north, all the way down into the Pullman-Moscow region. And the biggest outages, of course, Coeur d'Alene and Spokane. Between those two urban centers, a little under 49,000 people still without power at this time. And for the whole company, it's sitting at a little under 52,000. One thing to note, as you said, that 2015 power outage had about 200,000 people at one time without power. Right now, the highest we've seen is 103,000 people at one time. Now, earlier today, I had a chance to talk to Avista's director of operations about the company's response to all of these outages. He said, well, some people are getting their power restored. As you can see, they don't know when everyone's lights will turn back on yet. Take a listen.
In the Spokane area, our response is more of a find and repair, focusing on the transmission. We have crews available in Spokane that are currently repairing the transmission. We should see those customers, a more significant number of customers in Spokane earlier on.
Howell also says that the wind has to subside before crews can do a full assessment of that damage. As of earlier today, Avista said there were at least 3,300 incidents causing power outages throughout the region. The most hard-hit parts of Avista's grid have been in the Pullman and Spokane areas thus far, as well as out in the Silver Valley in Idaho. Avista said customers in all areas with power outages should be prepared for this to be a multi-day event. That means that some customers won't see their power come back on tonight. We will continue to monitor these power outages throughout the inland Northwest after this historic windstorm. For all of the latest, you can always go to KREM.com. Whitney, Mark, back to you.
Ian, thank you very much. And for more information on tips on what to do and help you stay warm during a power outage, just head to our website. That's KREM.com.
And still to come here on KREM 2 News at 5 tonight, a look at the impeachment arguments that lawmakers are making on Capitol Hill and where the process could go from here. Before we head to break, though, check out this photo. This is out of Okanagan County, a 55-year-old power pole snapping in half because of the winds. It caused outages in and around Omak and beyond, and there were several other power poles in that area that went down as well. So if you have weather photos that you'd like to share with us, you can just download our KREM 2 mobile app and then submit your photos through the Near Me section. KREM 2 News will be right back.